Welcome to U3L3 slope-intercept form. So this form of a line tells us two important things, right? The two important things are the slope and the y-intercept. So m, this value that is the coefficient of x, is going to be the slope. And b, this constant value that is not the coefficient of x, is going to be your y-intercept. Keep in mind your y-intercept is a coordinate. It is a coordinate 0, b. Okay, and it is on the y-axis. So find the slope and y-intercept of the following lines. Let's take a look. So the slope for y equals 3x plus 5 is the number in front of x, which is 3. So m is 3. And b is the value that is the constant, which is going to be 5, aka the coordinate 0, 5. For b, we have y equals negative 2/5 x minus 2. M is our number in front of x, so negative 2/5. And b is our value that is the constant, which is in this case negative 2, or 0, negative 2, the coordinate. Last but not least, c, y equals 1/4 x. Now, I don't see a plus or a minus, so in this case, you can just write plus 0, okay? That's the same as adding nothing. So our m is the 1/4 in front of the x, and then our b in this case is 0, aka 0, 0, so this line goes through the origin. All right, example 2, it says, given the slope and y-intercept, write the equation for the line. So you know all the equations are going to look the same. They're going to be y equals mx plus b. So if we sort of do what I would call a skeleton, y equals blank x, then we can fill in our values. So the slope is negative 2, so that goes in front of x, and the y-intercept is positive 4, and that goes after x. Same thing for b. We have y equals blank x, so it's going to be 4/7 for the slope, x. And then we would write plus 0, but we don't need to write plus 0, right? That y-intercept is 0. We can just get rid of that, and we can write it like we did, or like it was written in C, okay? So those are written similarly. All right, for example 2c, taking a look, we have y equals blank x. We have our slope, which is negative 1x minus 5. However, we would never actually see it written this way. Whenever the coefficient is 1 or negative 1, we sort of just ignore that coefficient. We assume it's there. So this would be the same as y equals negative x minus 5. And that would be the best way to write that one. All right, so for steps to graph a line in slope-intercept form, this is all review of Algebra 1, but we need to be able to do this to do the concepts we need to do in geometry. So let's go ahead and review this. So first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to label or identify your slope and your y-intercept. Okay. Step 2, we're going to begin with B. So we're going to begin with B, which is our y-intercept. So that's the point we have. That's the point that we are going to begin with. It's the only point that we know so far. Okay. We're going to put that point on the y-axis, of course, because it is a y-intercept. Once we know where B goes and we've plotted that coordinate, then from B, we can move with M. So move with M, which is our slope. So in moving, I mean keeping in mind rise over run, right? If the top number is positive, you go up. If the top number is negative, go down. Bottom number is positive, go right. Bottom number is negative, go down, okay? I require you to fit as many points as you can fit on the grid, and so that will help us to graph more precise lines. All right, for step 4, you're just going to draw your line with arrows, and you're done. All right, so let's take a look at example 3a and b. So example 3a says graph the line y equals 1/3 x minus 6. So first thing, identify your information. So my b, which is where I begin, is going to be negative 6, aka the point 0, negative 6. And then my slope, which tells me where to move, is going to be the 1/3 in front of x. Because both the numbers are positive, I can do rise over run as up and right. If I need to, though, to get more points, I can reverse both of those directions and go down and left as well. So I'll show you what that looks like. Actually, let me change the color on that. And go down and left as well. Okay, so starting at 0, negative 6. Okay. In this case, I am just going to go up and right because I can't go down. I'd run out of graph. So I'm going to go up 1 unit, right 3 units. So up 1 unit from negative 6 and right 3 units. Do that again, up 1 unit, right 3, and now I've run out of graph, so now I can just draw my line with arrows. It's best to use a straight edge when you do this, so you can get a more precise line. All right, let's take a look at B. It says graph the line y equals negative 3 halves x plus 3. Very important here. When we look at the slope, I'll talk about that in a second. So for B, it's positive 3. So that's going to be 0, positive 3. But for the slope, that's a negative 3 halves x. It's a negative 3 halves. But the whole fraction is negative, which means only one of the values can be negative. So I'm going to go ahead and put my negative in my numerator just to keep it easy. Always put my negative in the numerator. Now I know that instead of going up, I must go down, and then I can go to the right too. Or if I need to switch it up, I can go up and I can use the negative as if it was in the bottom number, okay, in the denominator. All right, so starting at 0, positive 3 on the y-axis. And then using my slope of negative 3 over 2. So down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2. Down 3, right 2. Down 3, right 2. Doing that until I can't do it anymore. Then I notice, though, that I can actually do that in the opposite direction as well one time. So I can go from my positive 3 value here, my y-intercept, and I can go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and left 2. Okay, once I have all the possible points, you can draw your line with arrows. And you are done. Okay, taking a look at example 4, it says graph the line y equals negative 2x plus 5. Perfect. So my y-intercept is going to be that positive 5 at the end there. Oh, that's B, excuse me. So begin on positive 5, aka the coordinate is 0, 5. My slope is going to be negative 2. Well, I need to know the run number, right? I need the number that's underneath. When you don't see a number underneath, you always put a 1. And because it's negative, we will go down, but we will still go to the right because the 1 is positive. Or if you need to reverse that direction, you can go up and left. You need to reverse both directions when you reverse it. Starting at 0, positive 5. So starting at the origin, count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that's going to be my y-intercept up there. Now I'm going to go down 2 and right 1. So now I'm going to go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, until I can't do this anymore. And then I can draw my line with arrows. All right. So now for the last example here, it's got multiple parts to it. It says, consider line L defined as y equals 3x plus 4. Graph line L and label it as L. So first thing I'm going to do is graph line L, label it as L. So graphing line L means to begin at positive 4, or the coordinate is 0, 4. And then it also means using my slope of 3, or 3 over 1. Since they're positive, I'll go up and to the right and label that line as L. Okay. So starting at 0, 4, so count up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then we're going to count up 3, right 1. So up 3, right 1, up 3, right 1. Once you run out of room, but if you have room on the other side, make sure you reverse it. So instead of going up and right, we'll go down and left. And it'll still give us the same line. Okay? So we will go down 3, left 1, down 3, left 1, down 3, left 1, until we run out of room, and then draw that line with arrows. Okay, and that's line L. Put an L there. Okay. Now taking a look at part B. Graph the line parallel to line L that has a y-intercept of 0, negative 2, and label it as N. What is its equation? So we have to make a line that is line N. We want an equation of it. It's going to be parallel to that original line L, and it's going to have a different y-intercept of 0, negative 2. Okay, so the equation, so let's start with that. So y equals mx plus b, y equals blank x. Now, we know what the y-intercept is, and that's the b. So since this is b, we can just put minus 2 at the end. But the slope is going to be based on the fact that it's parallel. Parallel means same slope. Same slope. So the slope that we used before is the same slope that we're going to use for this equation. So it's going to be 3. Okay? Or for our purposes of graphing, it's going to be 3 over 1 again. Okay, up 3 and right 1 again. All right, so starting at negative 2, we're going to graph this with a y-intercept of negative 2 using same slope, label it as N. So starting at negative 2, so down to negative 2, same slope of positive 3 over 1. Label this as N. I'm going to also reverse it and go down and left. So down 3, left 1, down 3, left 1. Now I'm just going to draw that line. And that is line N. Awesome. Okay. Notice that they do look parallel, right? Like they're never going to intersect, so that's good. Okay, last but not least, graph the line perpendicular to line L that has a y-intercept of 0, 7, and label it as line P. What is its equation? Okay, so we have line P. We need to figure out its equation. We know that its B value is 7, and we want it perpendicular. So this is opposite reciprocal slopes. Opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, so the equation y equals blank x, and then of course plus 7. It's going to be based on the fact that the original was 3 over 1. So in order to get the perpendicular, you're going to do opposite, which is going to be negative, and then you're going to do the reciprocal, which is 1 over 3. You're going to flip it. So that's going to be the m perpendicular. That's going to be the perpendicular slope. So negative 1/3 is our perpendicular slope there. Now, when we go to graph this, we're going to start at positive 7. And then, of course, when it's a negative slope, remember, put the negative in the numerator, leave the denominator with positive. So down and right. So positive 7 is there. From 0, count up 7. Go down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3. And then to get points on the other side, remember, reverse it. So we went down and right. Now we're going to go up and left. So up 1, left 3. Up 1, left 3, up 1, left 3. And now we're going to draw our line with arrows. And it says that this line is going to be line P. So I'll put a P here near the end. And as you can see, as it should be, right, these lines look like where they intersect are at right angles. Okay, and that should be the case because they're perpendicular. So they should look like they're intersecting, not just intersecting, but intersecting at these right angles. All right, that's it for these notes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.